Did you get it to work on Zoom?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah.
Here's the chat.
I think it's good now.
Okay, perfect. Well, without further ado. Valerie.
Yay. Well, okay. I am like beyond nervous to be in front of you.
Okay.
Like I'm
So-
shaking my life away, I'm sweating, so I'm just gonna be fully transparent. Good. Make it till you make it. Okay, so I'm gonna be sharing this with you guys. I just hope like you can get like one little nugget out of it. It's a work in progress always. So if you guys, have something that you want to share, or you say like, I would add this here, like by all means, just stop me. It's a very safe place to share. Just feel free. And then we can stop at any time. Right on. Okay. Here we go. Oh, no. No, I'm not hearing.
Other button.
Other button. Yes.
Space.
Here, space, you think?
Maybe you'll have to click with your mouse.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like here.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so we'll do a little icebreaker and then I'll kind of explain my pre-listing system. So what happens before you even enter your client's home, what to prepare, the listing presentation itself. I'll go through it really quickly with you guys. And then extra like tools, sample questions, templates that I'll share that I use before, during, and after, like template emails as well. And then a little recap and questions at the end. Sounds good? Not everyone. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna ask you to just maybe grab one little Post-it of any color of your choice. There's pink, blue, yellow, green, orange, anything at all. Grab a pen, a Sharpie. Yeah. Yes. And
Or I was taking the people too.
we'll use kind of that door behind Lillian as our wall. And if anyone can do this, we're gonna write one word, only one.
Different one?
So what comes to mind when I say, or you hear, someone says listing appointment? What comes to mind? Just one word. You're thinking about a listing appointment. Anything. So write it down on that little Post-it and then stick it behind Maggie. Beautiful, clean door. Yeah. What comes to mind?
You want a sticky phone?
I'm saying I'm like. And like online, if you wanna participate through chat, I don't know if you guys are.
Sure. Really not good.
How?
And she said, so we're doing a show. Yes, we are. Has anyone kind of just like set up at someone's like kitchen island to present and you're like actually standing? Depending on the client, that. I have. They're like sitting on their couch and I was just like, I kitchen island.
Now he's working.
There we go, I can do it. All right, so has everyone had a chance to put a Post-it? Does anybody want to share what they put on that wall? Anything? Competition is your word?
Yeah.
Any explanation behind it? We all kind of.
Well, it all depends on where you are, but
Yeah.
obviously, expecting to go to a listing appointment, knowing multiple people will either be in it.
Yeah,
How to face fact, either think there'll be competition or how to compete, or just
For sure.
think you'll be the one man in the room just to get it.
Yeah.
State of mind before going in, thinking it's a competition.
so always thinking competition, right on. I saw Justin's word opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's a good one because.
I wanna change my word.
Yeah. You wanna share why or you wanna keep it secret?
It's not a game of tea. You're.
That's it. Yeah, so although you know you're gonna be competing, you never really wanna take it for granted, right? That it's gonna happen. Anyone else wanna share a word that's on there?
I put preparation.
Yeah.
To your point exactly, I was thinking it's all about preparing. So like when you go there, it's like, I try and show them how their house should be positioned in the market
That's
and
it.
why,
That's it.
right? Like,
Yeah.
it's all about the prep work, at least in my
Yeah.
head.
And I think like, if there's one golden nugget today, I think for me, it is the preparation. Whatever you prepare before, even before meeting the clients, is what will matter, because if you are in a competition setting, then they'll kind of they will compare who came in with prepared, who came in knowing everything about their home and asking all the good questions. So that's kind of it. Lily, is there like any other words behind you that we can kind of share out or?
There was opportunity. I'll share mine. I get anxious immediately.
Yeah, like,
Immediately anxious, and I have to work my way out of it by studying and preparing. And when I'm not anxious anymore, I'm ready. But I get anxious right out of these.
even now?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm like, oh, geez, I have to like work my way into what's the price gonna be? What am I gonna say? How am I gonna I have to like self-talk, work it through. And then when I'm ready, I'm ready.
There's like this
So it
little
fuels me.
hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I put meeting, I literally
Meeting?
just put meeting, because at the end of the day, we don't know what's gonna happen, we're literally just meeting. To
That's
see
it.
if it even makes sense to move, and if it doesn't, then we don't.
If we're
Like,
like-
so-
Vibing
Yeah,
together,
that's what it is.
like, do I like these people or do they like me, vice versa?
For me, it's like
I think realistic.
exciting,
Exciting, okay,
like a new, because I am literally so new and it's like a new journey kind of thing. So like exciting for me for now,
yeah.
for now.
I think
I love that
I'm-
you say excited
Yeah.
and not like barfing or.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Yeah. I might be sick. Okay, cool. So we have a whole bunch of words and we'll come back to them at the very end and kind of do an expo. Okay. Oops, here I am clicking everything. Okay, so why the listing appointment matters? Well, they allow you to leverage. This is where you kind of have the opportunity to sell yourself. So it is a numbers game, like try to get as many listing appointments as you can, and then you might just get 1 or 2 out of it, but as many as you can. They help you build authority, because then you become the expert. And if you come in there empty-handed, then the rest will follow. They create predictable income. I added this one because I'm like, yes and no. When the system is done right, they can kind of like assure that you're gonna make some money at some point, because if you've done your job right, then the listing will sell. But then, Crystal, if you're listening, we can like come to certain like little scenarios where it's just not happening, and then you need to figure out what you can do, and then I'll show you what happens afterwards if that. Right. So this is kind of like my step-by-step template. I'll show you what I do before, during, after. I do a pre-listing Zoom call. So whenever I get an email, someone texts me, Facebooks me, I just do a Zoom call and then I sit down with the clients. It's about 30 minutes. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes less, but I try to get as much like meat on the bone as I can before I can actually go in. So I use this to prepare for the listing appointment, and it's really nothing fancy. I don't even know, I called it the pre-listing meeting. Okay, so this is just for me. This meeting, like bring your laptop, your pens and your highlighters. So I don't forget. But when I sit down, obviously I just want to know, like, what are your needs here? Like, why are we meeting? Is it to sell your house? Well, like, what's the situation? Is it a divorce? Is it a right sizing, like upsize, downsize? What are your wants out of this? Are you moving? And then you just kind of like jot down where you're going with that. So far, not too crazy, right?
So you have a pre-list, kind of like, you have a Zoom call checklist that you go through.
Yeah, so I have I have this like in front of me. I print out this little baby here, same thing, just for me, and then I keep them in a folder for each listing, then I pull it out when I forget stuff. But it's always on there. So once it's kind of like on the form 290, I can always go back to it to make sure, like, is this really what we discussed and talked about? So that's kind of just little questions here. And then I'll ask them, like, what's your address, your phone number, your email, because then when they log off your call, you're like, shit, now I need to do my next one and I don't have the info. So that will allow you to have that. You want to know if there's been any major upgrades, updates, or any like maintenance at all to the property right away. And the reason why I say this is I did one listing once where they sent me pictures of pictures, like this was our house in 1992 and this was our house. And I'm like, okay. And then I went to see the older listings and I came in with a price And in my mind, as I step in the door, I'm like, this is not the same house. Okay, so if they've done their kitchens, their bathrooms, they changed the windows, the roof is new, like you need to know, because there may be like hundreds of thousands of dollars in difference from the price you actually thought it would be. So I asked all of that, so with the dates, and then just like jot it down. I don't know if I have like, so this is kind of it's nothing beautiful, but like.
It works, yeah.
See how it looks shape. So that's it. And then we kind of get to, at some point in the conversation, I'm like, well, if you were to sell your house, like everyone has a magic number, right? Like, what would it be? Like, just like for shits and giggles, like, what is your price? And then 99% of the time, they just like, boom, they vomit the price, and then you just write it down right away, because you know where they're heading, and you're preventing that situation where it might not be feasible, right?
That's done on the Zoom call before you meet them.
That's done on the Zoom call,
Wow.
even before I go in, because when I do my CMA afterwards, then I know like, are they in la
Wow,
la
yeah.
land or are they very realistic? And then I send this nice little email. So this is one in French, and I think I have one in English, or maybe not. Just use ChatGPT to like translate. So it kind of says like, merci beaucoup pour votre appel, thank you so much. As discussed, blah, blah, blah. And then I like ask any questions. These are all the questions. Maybe we forgot something because we were talking and something else came up. But this is all the info I need to do a proper CMA and to fill out next one and to fill out a proper Form 290, because we're gonna do it together when we meet. So do you have any pictures? Any like damages to the property? Do you have a septic? Do you have a well? When was it last emptied? Do you have a fireplace? Do you have the wet certification? Everything is in there. So I send that email, and then they give me the information right after. And this is the same email to schedule a visit. So then I know exactly like when we're gonna meet. And then on the back end, once we finish that call, they've answered the emails. Sometimes they kind of like take 2-3 days to answer. And you like nudge them back, call them, Zoom, like do another FaceTime. When I call Dave sometimes, and he's like, look, your face is there. Yeah. Yeah, so I want them to know that I'm being very transparent here. I want them to see my emotions, like how I'm, that I'm not like just a person behind the phone.
You can read that better too.
That's it. And then I know where they're sitting, if they're confused about anything or have any concerns. And then I do the CMA. I go right away in web form. I add my 290 to the listing. And I fill as much out of that baby as I possibly can before I meet the clients. So who like actually fills out their 290 before or at all? So I know it's a lot of work, but then we have something to talk about at the kitchen table. We go through everything and we kind of click. And I said, well, this is what I have from when we talked together like a week ago. Let's add anything at all that you want to like put forward, like, oh, there are mature trees here, so it's like treat, and we'll like go through it. And then I'll open a file in the next one because I already have their phone numbers and their emails and all fun stuff. Am I going too fast?
No,
No,
you're
good. Good.
You got a question there?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask like, so how do you prep for the before pre-appointment Zoom call? Do you do any prep for that, or is that like your first point of
It's kind of
contact?
first point of contact. I know John sends out like a little intro email thing. Meet your realtor. You could do that if you want.
I can send it over, because it's always like especially for buyer agent that you meet on a
Yeah.
new place. I find it very, like, for me, meeting new people is a piece of cake, but for other people, meeting someone they've never met for a property is kind of awkward. So on the morning of, I always send, I made like a branding email, that shows the pictures of me, beautiful smile, gives a description of what to expect, make sure everyone's there. And actually, you can fill out the date. It gives a little brief description of who I am. So if they meet me, they kind of have a feeling that they meet me.
Okay, no, I get it. No, I meant more like the questions you're asking them in the call, like.
Yeah,
You have that premeditated, everything, like, do you know anything about their property by then, you know?
well,
Cause like, I know you have the general stuff,
Yeah.
but I mean the specifics, do you know anything about their property by then, or is that all?
sometimes I have a chance to say like, where's your property at? Or like know more about why we're meeting. But oftentimes it's like, my Cairo suggested I call you to sell my home. I'm like, okay, let's schedule a call today at 5.
Okay,
Boom. And then it's, you don't really have a chance to
okay,
think it through, and it just kind of happens naturally and you fill it out. Is that,
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's perfect.
okay, so what I do before, yes, I fill out that 290. Yes, I ask for the needs filled before. Yes, I ask for IDs before. And if they're like reluctant to like, give them to you, I'm like, well, we're gonna be working together, like there needs to be trust right away, like. I open my file in the next one, everything is done, and then I prep the folder for the client. That I'll show you after. And then, so that's all done before, and then we come to our appointment. I have this like 1,000 times. Are we still good on like? So this is what I bring to the kitchen table with my clients. This is the pre-listing presentation. So as I said, sometimes it's like super quick. You can kind of tell who they are in front of you, and you're like, at any time, this is like too boring for you, stop me. We're stopping it right now. If you want to skip through, just tell me. If you're like super interested, also tell me. I'll add. So you can kind of say who they are. Sometimes people are like sitting on their couches, and I'm literally at their kitchen island presenting. Like that's happened. So that's it. In your presentation, you kind of want to have like who you are, like present yourself. And this is where you sell yourself, and you're like, I'm the best in the world. This is me. And then if you're on a team, of course, like sell your team. Why the heck are you on a team? Who are the people backing you up? What are the extras that they get when they hire someone from a team? Then I broke down the listing process in kind of 10 steps. So I dummied it down to 10 steps. The key services, the strategies, we go through them together. The next steps, we look at the CMA, my pricing approach, and then of course referrals, and then if they have questions at the end. So very quick,
Even if you're not on a team, though, I think number 2 would still be.
like who's exit? Like,
Well, that's it, like talk with your brokerage and their
Yeah.
accomplishments and like the environment and like the values that we have and kind of highlighting those.
why we're the best. Right?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm like, you're a top 10 agent in Ontario. Like this seems crazy, but like if your name's been on there on that list, whatever list that may be, like just throw it on there. Just make yourself feel like you're it, you know? And then just who I was and my approach. I was a teacher and yada yada. And this gets the conversation going. They might have to want to share something with you, right? And then the number 1 team in Canada, and like my high C's will be like, that's just for exit, right? That's just yes. So that's it. And then you kind of talk about this. And then that's another conversation to be had. And then we go through the market snapshot. This is super old, but you update it to, you know, the emails that Aurora send you. You can find them online too. And then KC team, we just have our own, so we put that on there. And then wherever you are, Ottawa versus maybe your little area, then you can talk about like active listings, how many days on the market, and then they'll have questions for you that you can discuss. That's it. And then this is the 10 steps that they want to know. So I'm like, guys, we're meeting today. This is kind of like how I sum it up. Number 1, find an agent. And then I say like, you did it. You found it. There you go. That'd be me. So that's what I say. They find it funny, they find it cute. Oh my God, she's so funny. So that's it. And then you book your pre-listing appointment. That's what we're doing right now. So we're already at number 2. We're almost there. Your house is almost closed. Yeah. And then we talk about after a pre-listing appointment, because when I first walk in, I kind of like take notes. I have like walkthrough remarks, things to do. So we chat about how to prepare your home, any repair, small renos, cleaning that needs to be done. I talk about home staging, pictures and videos. We kind of like look at the calendar together, what makes sense for them. We talk about exclusive versus active listings, because sometimes they'll be like, oh, I want to sell like in October. Oh, cool. So let's find out a way how I can lock you in, even though you're not listing right now. So you want to sign that exclusive listing. You want to have the right to share their property and hoping that you can actually sell it before it even needs to go to market. So just recently, Sherry and I had a property on Route 200 in Castleman, and she's like, I have buyers, like hold your horses. So that they're doing their inspection right now. So that can be done. So you want to share how good having an exclusive listing is for everyone. And then, hey,
Sorry.
That's okay.
Who's got the Subaru?
Oh, the blocking?
Yeah,
Oh, am I blocking?
yes, and I need to complain. I'm sorry about.
you can leave the door open, it's like boiling hot. And then, open houses, showing time, I show them the app on the phone, I say, how cool is this? Look what our brokerage does for you, and then Josie's gonna call you, welcome call, it's gonna be so great. I'm personally not a super fan of open houses, some people love them, I don't, so. I talk to them about how to use them strategically, like the first week, and then you let it ride for a bit, and then if we see that we're having lots of traction, we're gonna put another one because we want to force that offer to come in, and they think that's cool. And then we talk about negotiations, accepting the offer, conditional phase, and closing. Seem cool? That's okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, negotiation is wrong.
The way.
Negotiation.
Oh, is it? Is it in
It's
French?
French.
It's in French.
Addition-
That makes sense.
addition.
I'll change it. And then we go through the listing strategy. So when I see the sellers, they have this little folder, and then inside there's already, it's empty. So it's for you to like keep and bring home and say, I'm gonna prepare at least one folder for my next listing appointment. So I have 2 copies of that CMA inside, one for him, one for her, one for her, it doesn't matter, 2. And then I put a copy of the listing strategies in there, and we go through that together. So all the services that we include, that's where you can have your conversation about commission and why we're well worth every penny.
Do you put your commission in here?
Not at all.
Okay.
I often like, it doesn't even come up to the table until the very last second, and that 2.5 usually slides in like a glove, like it's fine. And then total of 4.5. Buying and selling 4, and then I go to 3.5 if I'm bringing in the buyer, and usually that seals the deal. And that's it. And then I explain the next steps that are coming. We get to talk about price because that's where I present the CMA. So we go through that on the computer, we look at them together. That's where conversations are either great or they're like, you can kind of tell on their face that they're like, shit, my house is gonna sell for way less than I thought. So that's it. And referrals. And then this is where this little baby comes in.
Go back to the referral slide real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take the time before you even finish,
Yeah,
ask,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm like, if you're enjoying this, or like in a few months when your house sells and we're celebrating this, throughout the process, if you feel like it's easy and you have friends, family, like I'd be happy to work, and it's happened, so. Good. Slide it in there as much as you can. I'm a beggar. I am. You're like, please. That's it. And then strategy for effective pricing. I used to call it strategies, but I thought it was stupid. So. So that's just this. Okay. So this is kind of like when I can tell that it's not going right. Then we have like, okay, guys, like this is your price, which is good. We can kind of try and test it. It's kind of like if all the stars align perfectly, kind of, is there a message? What do I do?
Yeah, there.
Oh, anxiety, numbers are coming in. Okay, cool. So, and then I also tell them like, maximize your possible profits, but you'll also drastically reduce the number of interested buyers. So for my visuals, this is what it looks like. You can even have just one, make it one person. And then today's market price, this is like your fair market value based on our comparables. I always have like 3 and 3, 3 solds, 3 actives, and they're like, well, this one's sold too, and this one's sold, and my neighbor's sold. And I'm like, we can look at solds until tomorrow and we're blue in the face, but they're sold. So our like active comparables are our competitors right now. So that's it. So that increases your chance to sell faster. And then there's like where they're like, no, not 670, we'll go to 638. So that's your sell it now price, you know, you're below market value. And then I can see stars in their eyes because they're like, oh my goodness, look at all this traffic. So, you know, this is good. This is great if they're open to it, but they also have to know that it'll bring a lot of buyers, maybe not the buyers we want, maybe not the buyers within the price range, but it'll get us like the traffic we need. So that's it. Good. We'll go back to this. Yeah. Okay. Questions so far? Yeah, okay. Okay. Stop me at any time. Sometimes I need to go back to their house. And then this is not the appointment I want to have, but sometimes the sellers are just stubborn and we need a price drop. And then they're like, well, why? Why is it not working? And Maggie was nice enough to share the golden nuggets. So I created a presentation with it, like your home, what's next? Because now we're like, it's either we do something or we don't sell your house. So I like to talk about those factors. First one being time, the second one being location, the showability of your home, the marketing exposure we're getting, the pricing, the unknown factor, and then you can vomit all the data you want again and say, hey, in the past 30 days in Castleman, there's been absolutely zero showing over $650,000. Like, and then you can kind of say what's going on historically. Castleman used to sell like 35 listings a year, and now they're hoping that we stay at 100. We're kind of going back to that. Like, that's it. So that's a presentation I did for my sellers in Castleman, actually. So we talked about time. I'm like, well, timing wise, we were right on the money. It's like good time. And then I talk about strongest months and whatnot. And then we talk about how long of a time we've been on the market. And that's where it's like, we're at 3 months mark. What can we do now? So timing, that was good, but now time on market is not so good. Location. So Castleman is very charming, but it's also very far. So we're kind of like that exit too far. If it's a listing in Orleans, you can tell them location wise, this is great. Like everyone wants to be in Orleans. There's nothing we can do about this. It's great. 5-star. Showability. That's where you want to like throw them flowers. I'm like, the house is so good. I could clean off the floors. It's like perfect. I love it. I would live here. I would buy it twice. Whatever. Just tell them something nice about their house, even though it's not. Okay. So, but you have to still be transparent where you're like giving too nice for like one kind of like, this is what we could do to make it better, you know? So that's it. And then marketing exposure. You give yourself 5-star here. Like you're doing a great job. This is what we've done. it's amazing. You're not gonna get any more cream of the crop marketing than with Exit, so that we can't really change a thing. And then the last thing is pricing. It always comes down to pricing. There's no other ifs and buts. And then we talk about it. And then if they're still not convinced, I pull out that little diagram of people and pricing, and then the unknown factor. It could be tensions, it could be economic, political, whatever. You can have a chat about that without escalating into something else. It can. And then you can do a market snapshot again, share, and then what will our next steps be? So what are we doing here? Are we extending with a price change? Are we? I need you to work with me, or I don't want to work with you. Kind of thing. Does that sound cool? Yeah. So that's it. It's easier said than done. I've been carrying 9 Sarah with me for months, and I'm like, I don't know why I can't let them go. I just can't. Keeping the listing. They want to work with me still, I think. So we're keeping it. That's it. Maybe. So that's kind of like the appointment 2 that sometimes happens. Tools that I use, of course, I have this binder with me at all times. It's like my little Bible. In here, I have my listing to-do list, everything I do after, like don't forget your FinTrack. All kinds of stuff like RICO info guide, yada yada, utilities amounts like gas, water, sewer rentals, hydro, well, septic, when was it? Lap pump. That was the last pump. So that's it. That's all on there for myself. I have the strategies for the sellers, that little pricing thing that I slip into that folder. And then all of this is just like extra documents that are printed out of everything in the listing, just in case like internet is not working. They're all in there.
We'll do the hand up thing.
Yeah.
So when you present, do you present with them holding the presentation? Do you present on a laptop on the counter?
On the laptop.
On the laptop, so
Yeah.
you're sitting close enough typically, and then.
Yeah, or like sitting at the kitchen table is very typical.
And then they have printout of everything you're showing in their.
Yes.
In your book.
Yeah. Not my presentation, just like the strategies, like services, just the little visual.
With the CMA,
The CMA
yeah,
2 times they get to keep. And then I also often ask them to have the Wi-Fi when we go, because hotspotting is not great. And then when you come back for your open house, then you're golden, you have their Wi-Fi and you don't need to look. So that's it. So tools, number 1, this would be it. All of my templates, like my email template, my before, during, and after template. Sample questions I use, like walk me through your timeline. Here's what the data is showing us. It's never like, I think. No, it's not really that. What's your magic number? If all the stars align, that's really like a one-liner I like. It's always data over opinion. And then there's strategies, obviously everything. I think that's it.
May I ask another question? So, do you,
Make sure.
so you've got your laptop, you're going through the presentation, you said it earlier that you have the next one filled out.
Yeah.
Do you sign the listing live in person? If they're ready, like you,
Yes. I've never really done it where I had the opportunity to do so. The feeling was so good that I left and like I went home and did the signing. 'Cause sometimes it's just been so long. You've been there for an hour and a half already and you're like, but if you have a little piece of paper, you could just jot down and have them sign right away. I know some agents leave with the listing signed right away. So I've been working on doing that. It hasn't been something I did, so. But you guys can share what you do.
Okay.
Or do you?
no, that's like a long time ago, we used to do that, I know
Yeah.
you probably still do that.
really?
You leave with
Yeah.
it.
So like the e-signatures, sometimes it's like, wait a minute, I'll just tag for half of my life. And then we'll send it over, so. No, but. You know when it's in the pocket.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's just that for me, it's easy, I always have a listing authority printed with me, and I just find it builds rapport while you're chatting away and writing and type stuff. So it's an opportunity to chat.
But you leave with it, they don't change their mind when you walk out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you bring it up? How do you mention it? Like, oh, I brought the papers, you ready to sign, or?
Well,
How do you do it?
it's almost like you just know.
You just know.
You know, you just know, you're sitting
Yeah, yeah.
there, and there's going well, and, you know, you've decided on the price, you've
I-
decided on the terms and conditions. It's,
And you ask them sometimes, you'll say, well, do you feel comfortable with everything I've said, and do you feel
Mhm.
comfortable going with
Yeah,
me?
moving
to list
forward.
your
Oh,
house? Great, well, do you wanna sign right now?
yeah.
And I use that tools right now.
Yeah.
Well, usually, before
I
we
do say
sign,
It's better there though, it's better
Yes.
at the house.
it's
Yeah,
easier to close if you pre-close, so you say before we sign, or is there anything?
Yes, there is.
I
So then they, no, okay, great, fantastic.
That's already good. That's already good.
As well too, I read online on TikTok, it says the fact that you have the listing, like the listing in your hand, if you're not someone that's very confident, just the fact that you're walking in with the paper with the intention, the mental intention of getting that sign, you're more confident when you do your presentation.
Mhm.
So you're walking in, you got the paper, you wrote it down, you tagged it, you're just like, hey, like Justin said, you know, you're just more confident, supposedly.
like
Makes
something
sense.
I do to like seal it without having the contract signed. We take out a calendar together, we kind of like jot down when we wanna list, and then I'm like, Chantal is gonna come in to do when can she come in? This, okay, and then I text her right away. Whether I do or I don't, I text her right away, and she's coming in, and then pictures, okay, then I text Mike right away. So we're booked, like it's happening,
Yeah.
the ball is rolling.
You book the follow-up appointment. at the
Yes,
appointment.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really good.
So it's
Yeah.
like.
No, because once they let the stage you're in, you know they're not gonna change their
Mhm.
mind.
Mhm.
It's pretty serious, but it's very, I've never had something.
Very awkward.
Very awkward, so
Yeah.
that, and then I make sure, like, some agents call once a week, they like say, hey, here's the update.
Yeah.
I am like, I vomit voice memos, if you've talked with me, and it's like, blah, blah, and then they call me back, or they don't, or they voice memo me back, or we FaceTime, or it's just like a moving target all the time, and I set up the list track for them, so I know that we went through list track at some point a few weeks ago. I make sure that they receive all the data of how many clicks, how many views, eyes on them, shares, likes, the whole shebang, and they receive that on every Monday morning.
I'm gonna circle back to something you said way at the beginning that I really liked, and that was, you look for opportunities to video call.
Yes,
And I would definitely not let that one pass by you. If you're open to that, because the rapport, and like you said, you see the reaction, the expression, they see you, it's transparent, it's a lot easier.
And it's like a shoe and it gets rid of half the awkwardness of you going into their personal space, you already kind of, you
they're
know,
already friends.
it's like an icebreaker, yeah?
Yeah. So I was gonna redo this activity, but like, are there like any scary words on there that people had written down, like listing appointments make you nervous, or you don't like them, or ugh?
Services seller, excited, presentation, opportunity, detail, anxious.
Somebody wrote anxious.
Yeah.
Am I the
Oh,
only
I
one that's
did.
anxious?
You have anxious.
Well, you know what, it is, but I think there's a point where you're right, it's, yeah, everyone's nervous, so you do
Yeah.
what you do to get comfortable.
Yeah.
And you're there, so you can answer any question. And then if you can, it's, well, you know what, that's a great question, I'm not 100% sure, let me get back to you, and that way I'm not giving you the false or wrong information.
Yeah,
And it's
I
a
think
great way
It
to.
comes with my C personality, like, you know what I mean, like a D's just like, let's go in, let's get it done. You know, and I'm like, I know that I have to build my way to that level of confidence, I mean. Yeah.
Would you say that there's a new word now that we've done this presentation for the listing appointments? Objections, like,
Yeah, like when you're in the spot there and you've done all your prep, but then you get like, you know,
Like-
out of left field, like a huge objection and you're just on the spot, like. How would you deal with that? I don't know.
depends on what they bring to the table, I mean, like,
We have knowledge.
yeah,
Like, I mean, the biggest one always gonna be the price objection.
yeah.
You know, like say price objection, or say you're so confident you're leading up to like, oh, like we could set up the photos here and then they're like, actually, I don't know, you know, I have the, like a few more appointments with like other agents, I don't know if that's some, you know.
Yes, yeah, but that's also a question I ask. I'm like, anyone else gonna sit in this hot seat? I wanna know, like,
Okay,
Yes.
so like if they say yes, like very confidently, that's kind of an objection to your like streamlined process that you have.
do your due diligence, shop around, ask the questions. Like, compare us all, come back to me when you're done, but
Okay.
compare us all. Yeah,
It's true. Yeah, well, preparedness is key.
yeah,
So preparedness would be the change of the word.
Yeah.
To me, in my mind.
You can tell when they're up against another agent, when they're not giving you quite an answer and they're like, great, we'll think about this and get back to you,
Yeah.
or we'll discuss it. You know right away, like, yeah, they're gonna be interviewing. So that's the question you have to ask. Oh, okay, before we leave, do you mind, are you interviewing other agents? I'm thinking, great, well, when would you be able to get back to me and kind of follow up with you? Or
Yeah.
before you go with another agent, can you call me? I'd like to talk to you again. Or, you know, after you compare me. So you can tell, usually, I bet you can tell right away when you know that,
Yeah.
okay, they haven't decided because they've got another agent coming.
that's it.
Yeah.
And you call it out, like, oh, great, you know.
And if you don't get it, it's a great opportunity to ask, like, was there anything during the process that you didn't quite stick to, or like, what can I do for the next clients that would make this?
Yeah.
Or when you sell in 5 years, how can I be your agent then, you know? I mean,
Would you say it's a good idea that when you're there, you kind of just be upfront and be like, what can I do on my end? Like, you don't word it exactly like this to get rid of your objections, but kind of like, what can I do on my end? To make this a lot easier for you, the choice of who to work with and not, and then you kind of get right away exactly what they're looking for. Or what they think they're looking for.
I think that's what Dave does a lot. You're like, do you have anything like concerns, questions I can answer right now? Anything I can do for you? And then he wraps it up at the end like, would you agree that we've answered these
Okay,
questions,
yeah.
yada, yada?
Yeah, it's like,
You do that
yeah,
in pre-listing, like you're
Yeah.
pre-listing, you're
Yeah.
asking about that
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
Has been listed in the past and hasn't come up.
She's going in, like, you're going in knowing already what they're concerned about, because
Yeah.
you're pre-listing when she had
The
the,
call, okay.
you know, it's like, what kind of things you're thinking about, what kind of problems? Right away, you know, is it commission, price, time of market, showability, probably have like the top
Yeah.
2 of their concerns before you even met with
Yeah.
them. Okay.
Yeah, the other thing I'll point out is notice the commission comes out at the very end.
Yeah.
So because and it just
Didn't even
slides,
see it.
it just slides, okay?
It's not on there.
So, and she's saying it just slides, like it just slides. No, it doesn't just slide, you won them over at the listing call, you sent them an email, you showed up and did a presentation. You're smart like a whip, you know what I mean, like you go through the whole thing, so it's not like it just, they literally will pay more.
Yeah.
Because you've done all these if you do half of this, you'll stand out with the competition.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways, just have to say it, but so that doesn't just slide, I think you earn it when you do your presentation.
Yeah, you've demonstrated your professionalism.
Yeah. That's it.
There is so it is important to know if you're competing or not, if you find that skill to be able to find that out, and why, it's because when I know I'm competing, I am not, in a sense, I don't have the gift of the close. I don't have the gift, I'm not like a firm Beauchamp. All right, cause we know the ones that, man, they're like, man, if you don't, you've gotta make sure you get in there. If you know your competitors, so some of them are so good close, you might not even get in the door, so you have to make that call, do you wanna be the first or the last? So depending on who I know some agents, they're big discount. So I'm ready when I go in with the objections that I know I'm gonna need to have, so it's really important. But because I know I might just it might be hard to do the close, I always then do a takeaway where I don't give them all the information right away to make sure I get that second appointment and go in last after. So I try to strategically position myself with maybe a second appointment and say, so I'll start off some of the words. Your home is very unique. It's not just, like in Orleans where all the the townhouses look the same. And we want to make sure that, we don't leave any money on the table. So I shift my conversation depending on that first appointment, which is very important because it's key. It's going to guide your language. So just giving yourself another opportunity to slide in.
So does that mean you wouldn't give them the price? You come back for the price?
I hold back. I wouldn't give them everything, and I don't even give them the CMA. If I know I'm competing, I tell them that I switched to a two-step approach. You do the two-step approach.
Yeah.
What you just do with the
That's it.
video.
Yeah.
Which I think is way better than what I used to do, because you're ready for the second appointment, because you really, your pre-list is when you're doing your Zoom. I don't do the Zoom, so I have to go in person and go back again a second time. But it's just, and then, it's because, and you do it, and it's similar, it's just that, it's that I find that you need to, know, you have to try to find out what their objections are, like you do, allow you that second appointment. And then I always tell people, you know what, you're interviewing 5 people right now, right? And then they're nodding their head, and I'll say, it's gonna become very overwhelming for you. And I want you, to allow yourself the space to write down all the questions that you might have, because something that they might point out, I do also. And sometimes you might forget to say, hey, I put a lockbox. I find some funny things, and then they start to laugh, and they go, that's true.
We put you on the MLS.
Exactly.
Yes, we're saying that.
Exactly, and it's true, isn't it true, Justin?
Yeah.
No, it's
Now you
like.
put me on the MLS system, like, everybody puts you.
Yeah. Yeah, so just give her once on that, thought. Yeah, right, we've all gotten burnt on that little thing that we think we take for granted, we think they know, so that I feel that this is cool, because if you do the pre-list before the list, or what you call the pre-list before the
Yeah.
pre-list, is that it'll help you to pivot and maneuver when you are in that competing situation.
Well, it's rapport building. You do it good in person, you're doing it on video, and then it seals it on, so it's not the first time they're seeing you that they're making the decision. I think that's really what it comes down to, is the more they see you, they hear it from you, and they talk to you, the more comfortable it becomes. You're not just a
I was
salesperson.
looking at that before, that I'm a bit like Simon, I always just went in, because in my mind, 60 to 70% are feelers. Like for the C's, check box for sure, but I'm gonna spend a lot of time just becoming their friend. Making them laugh, joking as we go around through the house, and by the time we get to the end, it was always my style and my approach. And maybe I could have definitely done it better, but I just feel like it was a lot. Just based on them trusting me and building that friendship through the process. So I was like a bit of the opposite. I wasn't super organized. I knew what I wanted to say if the questions came out, because I was confident, I did the research. But I'm more just like, let's become friends. You're gonna trust me. And then my recommendations are gonna come easily. That 2.5 is gonna be easy because you wanna work with me. But I'm a little different that.
Oh, you did have a listing book.
I go in, I come in with a folder, I have a folder with everything that I need, and I rarely open it.
That's cool. That's good though. At least you got some.
You're
Sometimes, the last one, actually, I was standing at the door and they asked me a question, I was like, oh, and I was like, I have that right here. So they knew I had something in there, but I just held it the whole time.
It's a security blanket.
Yeah, like if they ask a question, I know.
No, we don't need it.
When I leave, they have that on the table there,
Yeah.
and I put my face on everything I possibly can. Like every document has my face on it, because I want them to say, yeah, like I want them, oh yeah, that girl. If they've interviewed, like, who was she? Oh yeah, oh, that's it.
So
So
what happens is that when you've been around for like ever, we're getting is that some of these clients that have been a second and third time they use it. And I feel that it's, so when we're starting in our career, and I think it's just amazing what you're doing, Val, and thank you for sharing all this, because it's really valuable. Is that in this day where all the information is everywhere and there's a lot of distraction that there wasn't 15 years ago. Like 15 years ago, there wasn't as much distraction for the consumer as there is today. So what happens, you gotta if you gotta silence, there's so much noise. You gotta be able to get through that noise, and you're the person that's got all their attention. So you're competing for their attention now that you didn't have to do 20 years ago. So I think
Also, your competition's stronger than it was when we were.
yes.
When we were, like, 20 years ago, it was Claudette Leduc and Melvin Miller and.
Yeah. So this is really important. I think if you want to win your day, I feel that there are steps and this type of presentation, and I just want to shout you out, Valerie, because this presentation works for C's, works for your I's, works for your D's, and works for your S's. So, you know, you were saying sometimes you skip the slide, because you've learned that if you're speaking to D, you're gonna go through this quickly. If you're working with the C, you're gonna spend more time on your, days on market, your comparables, all that. S's, you're gonna talk about their cushions and their family, and so you know your personality, and you're gonna tailor, but you need the cues, it'll keep you on task. So this is I highly suggest that preparedness, all of these words here is key. It's key.
Great job, Al.
Yeah.
Stop shaking.
Yeah, good job, No, I really like it.
Val, do you have a format like this for buyers?
I have something for buyers, it's not as good. I stopped working on it because we're working on, like, those
Yeah.
buyer, I don't know how to call it there.
Guides.
Guides, yeah, so, but yes, I do have one, it's just not as pretty.
That'll be another presentation.
That would be nice, actually.
Somewhere on there. There's a lot of crap in.
Take a Rico guide, slap your face on it, there you go.
Yeah. Like a little buyer checklist.
Perfect, well, thank you so much.
Yeah. So-
Do you want the videos?
Never say no.
Not all the clauses, but when we sign it, I forgot to do this. When we sign the contract, then I'm gonna send you your signing package for your review and signatures. Let's schedule a small 5 minute, I'll just walk you through where there's like commission, yada yada. So just the important pieces, like this is correct, this is the commission we agreed upon, you'll see the 3.5 underneath, are you good with that? And then I have those high Cs who read and through.
Yeah.
They'll call me back. Oh, I mean, like, clause number 11, what is this? Like, why does it say that? And then I say, you never know something.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's read it together. So you read it out loud, and then I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, that's it.
So, yeah, because you don't get that sign like right after, right? So you just.
I go back home,
Okay, and then,
if he said yes right away, I keep saying like, I'll send you the set signing package for review as soon as I get back. Like in a few hours, you'll have it in your email. It's good?
Okay.
If they're interviewing multiple agents, they basically just give you a timeline on the law.
I know, I was like, now it's perfect. Yeah, because there's so many clauses, you can't really explain.
Oh, yeah. And I know like when we do our classes and like.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
like there's another 3 hours of work just going through.
Yeah.
So,
Question.
That was really good.
Yeah.
good.
You share your computer screen in front of the.
Yeah, so I put this, then I put my link on and we go through it again.
Yeah.
Actually share your screen on their TV.
Yeah, I still, I guess,
Yes. And you put it with the.
I asked them for their Wi-Fi. And then it helps because when you go back and look up in houses or anything, you actually have Wi-Fi. And then you can. So I can come in, you can go around with them, you have no trouble, because I've often found myself at an open house, just like.
Yeah.
Well, like, I heard art, but.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Do you want videos? I can send it to you.
Please, yeah.
Do you want to just turn on your?
I'll turn it on.
It's like, right at that time.
It was really simple.
Yeah, yeah, good. I was like,
Just stop the video because we're still. We'll just here.
Sorry, I have cat ears.
over there. Is it mine? Oh, yes, mine goes.